Here we go. It's a continuation of the road to Nwpo versus Mawkzy. We got Nwpo, a nice 80 ping server here, as he's going to be playing against Toxiic. We have Nwpo and Mawkzy playing against the same 10 opponents. It's a battle between them to have a better record against these guys in order to prepare for the World Championship coming up in September, where Nwpo will be playing Mawkzy. Now, I'm going to be mentioning how the matches before this have gone. So just keep that in mind. If you want to watch all the previous matches, you can go through and check them out. They've so far played at Braziers and Drally. Drally actually happened just moments before during this stream. Now they're going to both be playing against Toxiic. Now the current standings are actually 1-1 for Mawkzy, who won against Braziers but lost against Drally, and actually 0-2 start for Nwpo, who had a surprising upset, a little bit of internet issues. We've hopefully resolved those by having Nwpo be able to create the lobbies in these following matches. But then also a mirrored matchup against Drally. They both lost to Drally. So the Braziers matchup ends up being the difference right now. And every single game is going to matter. Every single game is going to matter as time goes on. I'd be surprised if, Mawkzy doesn't at any point drop another game with the caliber of opponents that these guys are going to be having to play against. So I think the series could very well end up tied, and the game differential may just be the tiebreaker. Toxiic and Mawkzy, I know. Oh, wow, what a save. I was going to say a great double off the back wall. Yeah, Toxiic still saved it. What was I about to say? Oh, Mawkzy has had a really strong matchup against Toxiic. Toxiic is a guy who is often likened to Mawkzy in the way he plays 1v1. Both highly touted for their kickoffs, something that Nwpo struggled in his previous matchup against Drally. Not terribly. It wasn't like he was losing every single kickoff, but he definitely was having to play against that disadvantage, which can be tough to do. Toxiic has himself a tie game with Nwpo. The hope here is that these 10 games will be great practice. At the current pace, we're actually going to be done with the 10 games really, really early, but I figured it could be, pretty tough to schedule 10 matches at times, as Toxiic does a great fake and then ends up shooting low. He's got a 2-1 lead. If there's anybody who could, emulate how Mawkzy plays, maybe Toxiic is the best example. So how Nwpo plays against him could give a slight sign to how it might happen in France in a couple months from now. Nwpo is actually on a rare losing streak. He had basically won every single match he played. He's only like 13-1 or 12-1, with his only loss coming to Mawkzy in the past many matches he played. And then that ended at the start of this challenge against Braziers. Drally was always going to be a tough opponent. I don't know if Drally was one of the people he beat. Maybe he was during his 13 streak or so. But make it 2 in a row. He's trying to bounce back here. And he's ready to grind, as he suggested continuing the matches going after the last one. Toxiic doing well at the start of this. Nwpo cannot seem to break all the way through. Trying to pass to himself off the backboard. He still has boost advantage, although it's not a big boost advantage. Both of them very low. Toxiic, great placement. What a save from Nwpo. Just pins it right down into his control. Toxic's able to pick up 100, but he's still not in a great spot, with Nwpo taking it straight down the center of the field, and Toxiic forced to make a save off the back wall, and it's a feathery touch, but it has to be to get the right angle, as Nwpo takes the lead 3-2. It sounds like the marbles race that happened in between these games was apparently a pretty interesting one or something, based on a couple messages I've seen. Believe it or not, I have been prioritizing doing the Rocket League show matches, which I know might come to a surprise to some of you, or come as a surprise to some of you. It was a world record. Oh, some people said that it wasn't world record. It was stream record is what I saw someone say. A little bit different. Toxic gonna get up 4-3. Strong start for Mr. Toxic here. Nwpo backing off to the back wall. Big moment about to come with the possession here. Flicks it top shelf. Toxic did not make a great recovery, so he's not going to be able to cheat out towards the ball. Great play from Nwpo. And you really have to be able to play in these high pressure situations. This is what I'm talking about. The non-ideal landing, I mean, Toxic has to just sit in net now. Whereas if he had landed perfectly and used a little bit of boost, he might be able to rush out and cut off the angle early and even dive and get a big clear. Instead, glued to the ground. Nwpo, kickoff in his favor. Air dribble bump. A little high five with Toxic. And just like that, he's in the lead. Now Toxic's the one in trouble. And this is how 1v1 can be. And you have to have your wits about you at all times if you want to be able to convert games like this one where you're trailing late. Toxic has his wits about him as well, as he's going to get a nice 50. Nwpo slams it over to him. And we got a 5-5 with 21 seconds left to go. Toxic. Ooh, able to get the 100 boost. Nwpo, what a save. This is ridiculous. He should have been scored on after making that mistake at the midfield. But he dashed his way back to cover up his own mistake. And now he's doing it all with absolutely no boost. He's just doing it with dashes. Toxic might have just passed to him. He does glue it to the ground with a roll. It'll be OT. And gain number 1. Nwpo, big kickoff win. Toxic. Ain't no way. What a way to end the game. Did Toxic try and go for like a zap dash to the Oh, brutal. Absolutely brutal. Nwpo will win game number 1 off of a kickoff own goal. I mean, he was in a tough spot, just to be clear. Game number 2. Henry Bandini. Name the gifted sub over to Skika. Toxic's going to score first after the rough finish to the last game. Nwpo off the side wall. Uses his flip in order to continue the dribble. Sees Toxic coming. Tries to get a favorable 50. And I would say he succeeded in doing so. Not for a wide open net, but definitely for a big advantage. Toxic used his last bit of boost to try and rush up to the ball. Couldn't touch it. Oh, a little zap dash actually too to try and get there. But the net's wide open when he doesn't connect. And Nwpo sees a mistaken kickoff from Toxic. At least I assume it's a mistaken kickoff. And he just stops at the ball. Gets a 50 and converts through the air. I feel good about the title of Road to Nwpo versus Mawkzy. No longer do I feel bad if people think Nwpo versus Mawkzy is happening on the stream or anything. This one seems very clear what's going on. Nwpo going to take this to his back corner with 4 minutes left to go. An early back corner bury as he will now take on the Diaz challenge across the length of the field. Had a great bounce that was finishing top shelf. Toxic flies out to bump Nwpo, but it's not enough. 4-1. Delay kickoff. Toxic might come out the better of it. He's gotten all the boosts on the map. Got undercut here, though. Neither one of them are going to pick up the 100. because Nwpo doesn't steal it, Toxic's able to get it. And he will collect the ball for an air dribble bump. Nwpo makes the save. Toxic has some filthy flicks when he wants to go to them. Now it's definitely a position where we do see some players lean on their flick. Instead, Toxic goes that bump. Now he's going to try and flick because he has really no choice. At 0 boost left over. Not quite the same thing as Nwpo. Oh my goodness, a battle between who is going to go for the bump, who's going to keep the dribble going. They just both float in the air, and Toxic eventually does get the save. Trying to get a ground pinch clear. And instead, just handed the ball over to Nwpo, who will now delay. 50. Credit to Toxic. Nwpo's been crushing people with those 50s. And wow, what a dribble as he has to flip around the ball to make something out of it. I think technically he overshot it on his start, but he made up for that decently well. Toxic demo as Nwpo wanted to get the boost grab. Cost him his life. Are both of them using this goal explosion? I feel like my screen's going completely dark all the time. Nwpo flipping through, I think, hoping for a demo in that moment. Oh, Toxic freestyling out here unintentionally. I think he was trying to wave dash and land, but just kind of floated himself off the wall and then gave Nwpo the ball, and Nwpo will score. Nwpo, low 50, trying to continue this possession. Toxic staring down, trying to make a nice read with very little left over. He lobs the ball up, has to try and stick around on the ball in order to dissuade a shot attempt, which I think he's been able to do. Now, decent challenge. He knows he's dying. Oh, he tried to pogo to not die. I don't know if that succeeded in helping him or not, but it's possession to Nwpo either way. And he will start a dribble from the ground towards the net. Air dribble bump. Toxic gave him the space. Nwpo converts on it. So we've seen close games between everybody so far against these two major 1v1 champions. This is one of the first times it does seem like a result is slipping away from the challenger. And as I say that, he gets a great air dribble reset, and even Nwpo's got to give him credit. Drops him the nice one as he makes a nice fake. Then Nwpo falls forward. The bounce goes in. Nwpo has shown he's more than willing to time waste, but he is going to take this dribble towards the net. A really safe one at that, but you know, it's funny how different players play when they have the lead. I don't think Nwpo ever lets this one kind of just land and bounce this high under different circumstances. If he needed a score, he's definitely not doing that. That was him thinking about the time and thinking it was the right move to just play ultra safe, and then Toxic steals it away. Now kickoff goal. All of a sudden, this game is well within reach for Toxic. Toxic and a half up away. Nwpo booming towards the back wall. Try to slot it top shelf, but he does look a lot better in attack. I do love the Rocket League esports mod auto message about zero tolerance, except it's DSCified. DSCified. It's a great way to attack the people who are being toxic in chat. Just let them know that we practice a zero tolerance policy. Toxic needs a bucket here with 10 seconds left to go. Ooh, nice read on the Nwpo early challenge. Is there any way he could get to the other side of the ball and ground pinch it towards the net? I don't think so. Nwpo's going to keep it up in game number 2. Held on to this game. Trying to get the win streak back going. And has one more game to win to do it. 2-0 start for Mr. Nwpo. Game 3. Nwpo, of course, comes into this match as the favorites. Very, very few players in the game right now that these two, Nwpo and Mawkzy, do not. And, I mean, you could argue almost none. I think in retrospect, you know, maybe Drowley should have at least been 50-50, if not maybe slightly favored the way he's been playing ones recently. Nwpo converting on that favoritism right now. That's certainly not the right way to say it, but a save and a counter puts him right back in the lead. Toxic. A delayed flick. This is not the kind of flick that I was talking about before. I said Toxic has a really strong flick. It was not that one. As he normally just does the more classic Mawkzy type flick. This time he kind of 90-degree turn and used the backflip. Did not catch Nwpo off guard. Toxic wave dash cuts. Now 50 in with Nwpo as he sends it out to the other side wall. Nwpo pass to himself. Doesn't work out. Especially not without any boost left over to make a play. Toxic. Oh, passing to himself off the ceiling. And actually he's going to score off of it. Nwpo, who was transitioning up. I want to show, you know, why this is maybe a really smart idea. Nwpo's going to go ceiling challenge. Toxic counters that by slamming it off the ceiling back down, forcing him to instead recover late. And then Nwpo overshoots the recovery. And the ball bounces in. Top left. Toxic might be able to get a kickoff goal. And then we're tied just like that. I mean, it felt like Nwpo was controlling this game for a minute and a half. And within moments, we have ourselves a tie game. I recorded a video for the Alcatia versus TRT. Is that what their name is? I'm not sure when it'll go live. We'll probably do all these 1v1 matches on the YouTube before that. So, you know, it might lose relevance. I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll drop it in between somewhere. But I did watch some of the games. Nice flick from Toxic. 3-2. I mentioned it before. I mentioned it again. The way this format works, every single game can be important. A sweep is, of course, the best possible results for either Nwpo or Mawkzy, as they give themselves a big game advantage if the other player is not able to hang and not able to win as convincingly. Toxic, though, seems like he's going to prevent a sweep here, as he has got his 4th goal and is up 2 with a lot of time left on the clock. Toxic just left a wide open net on that setup. Nwpo was not the one to miss on that opportunity. It's not going to be irrelevant until the Mina LCQ. Yeah, it might be like next week, because now we're going to have 4 1v1s. So I'd imagine 5 days from now could be a time when it goes up. Toxic staring down to see what Nwpo's up to. Nwpo somehow gets the perfect catch and then a 50 on 0 boost. Something that Toxic was certainly not planning on. He thought he was going to be able to get a takeaway. Nwpo now in great position Went a little bit quick. Ooh, was able to slow roll it in. He went fast on this setup. And using his flip in this scenario, definitely not a good idea. Would have been far too heavy of a commit. But he threatened that flick. Got Toxic just enough out of position. The 10 players are not pre-decided. I think at the end of the day, it'd be too hard to do that with scheduling. And we're just kind of scheduling them like we do show matches regularly. If somebody's ready, available for the next day, Nwpo and Mawkzy both ready, then we run it. And that's how this one happened too. When Nwpo and Mawkzy said they were down to keep playing, I had talked to Toxic. I have prepped a lot of the players who I would have play if they're available though. Toxic, nice steal, 5-4. Not able to run away with it, but is playing to the very end. I did talk to Stizzy. I think he said he'd be interested. He's going to be playing in Ascension Protocol. Toxic could not pass to himself. Nwpo just trying to go pure speed back the other way. Toxic makes the save. 18 boost to work with. Nice flick. Uses every last bit of boost he has, but it pays off. And he has equalized with 1:04 left to go. Searching for the best possible results. Nwpo gonna pick up the 100 and boom this one as he thought Toxic was maybe gonna close some of that distance. Oh, what's going on? What happened here with Toxic? If Toxic approached the midfield, he would have been in trouble. Oh, I mean, do you think he was getting demoed? I think he thought that was a race to the corner boost. So he touched the ball, then started to rush, get the boost, thinking Nwpo was going to try and race him there. And then that's why he jumped as well. He was jumping over Nwpo, or so he thought. But Nwpo did not do any of that and just shot in an easy open net. 6-5, 34 left to go. We saw Nwpo play just a little bit too safe previously, and it didn't pay off. This time, a much better safe play as he floats behind the ball, saves boost. I think he even turns his car to get ready to boost downwards to recover if it doesn't go his way, but it does go his way. And now, oh, still not securing the game though. Toxic pre-flip pop, and nice continuation from Toxic. This ball does not go in without the quick thinking and the ability to launch it up in the air with that last little touch. Tease it up for the follow-up. Can he do it again? If so, he may just have an OT. Another kickoff in his favor. Puts it on target. 7-7. We got tons of time left in this one. The kickoffs will not end. Nwpo goes really low on the ball there. Jumping late. He's not going to make that mistake this time around. Much earlier, higher jump. Wants a 50. Does get a boost steal with it. Is going to pop this one up in the air and send it towards the net. Toxic should have the first save. It's going to be all about the continuations, and Nwpo does have a limited amount of time to get continuations to convert on this advantage. 5 seconds left to go. Nwpo reset low. Again, this would be a possession that would have kept going in favor of him, but the clock is going to save Toxic, and instead it'll be OT in game number 3. Every game matters. Nwpo would love to walk away with a sweep here. He's going to roll this one towards the net. Undercut Toxic. That'll be it. A sweep. A strong fight from Toxic, but not enough to take a game. Nwpo bounces back in the best way possible. A 3-0 in round 3 of the road to Lyon. Toxic playing in round 3, and it's a 3-0 sweep for Nwpo.